Hello and welcome to episode 2 of How to Play Doorkeeper. As always, I am your host, Night Phoenix. Make sure to check out our first video on the first phase of the turn. P is for production. If you recall our handy four-letter acronym POSE, P-O-S-E, P is for production, and in today's episode, as you can tell by the title, O is for orders. If you watched the first video, then you already know that our orders are determined by these numbers up here on our leader cards and can be kept track by a handy six-sided die. Although 3 is the standard amount of orders a leader can have, they can have more, so which would mean that you could have potentially more than 6 orders a turn, in which case you might need a die with more sides. But anyway, what can you do with those orders? So during the order phase, you can first summon. Summon includes units and resources. Resources include constructs and artifacts include enchantments and traps. In a later video, I will go through all the different components of a card and all the different card types. But for right now, all you have to know is that you can play any card in the game by paying their respective amount of power tokens. How many power tokens, you ask? Excellent question. For unit cards, a card's cost is listed on the side here, and for resource cards, their cost is listed on the top, like so. Now you'll notice that the cost for the resource cards are all in white, and for the unit cards, it can include these gold circles. Now often a unit card will have a mix of both white and gold, but this particular card is rather powerful, and so it has all gold circles to indicate a higher cost. But what does this cost mean exactly? So normally you can play a card such as the Enchanted Pickaxe by playing 3 power tokens. Obviously I just have one here, but this is just to illustrate what a power token looks like. And you simply just have to spend one summon order, and pay 3 power tokens, and you can play this card. Now it's important to note that up here in the upper left-hand corner, this is the rank of the artifact, and that means that one of your leaders has to have a level that matches this card's rank. So we can only play this card if we have a level 2 leader. All right, but for units, to go back to this concept of these gold circles here, what does that mean? Well, as you just saw, you can pay power tokens equal to a card's cost for the white circles. But for the gold circles, you have to pay the card's cost with power tokens matching this card's element. This card's element is Pyro, which means that you have to have power tokens of the Pyro element. All you have to do is, from the production phase, use power tokens from a territory card with the Pyro element and use those to summon this card. So this would need 4 Pyro element tokens. Now, let's say you don't have 4 Pyro element tokens. Well, all you have to do is to take one of your other territory cards. Let's say that none of your territory cards were of the Pyro element. Let's just say that you only had Tenebrous element. If you only had Tenebrous element power tokens, you simply just have to spend an additional token to convert the one that you already have. Like so. So this card could potentially cost 8 power tokens, depending on your combination of power tokens with the correct or incorrect element. Any card costs just one order to summon. And again, once you use an order, you can keep track of how many you have used by reducing the count. So we just use an order, let's say, to play the Fire Dragon. So we reduce our order count from 6 down to 5. So besides summoning, you can also transfer. Now, what are you transferring? So let's just say that you have a legion, like so. You have 3 cards. During a skirmish, which is the next phase, your legions will take damage going from the first unit to the last unit, left to right. So let's just say that you don't want this first card to take damage. And so you can now, at this phase, spend an order to take this card and move it to the front, in which case, during an attack, this card will take damage first. Additionally, during this phase, you can also transfer units between friendly legions. So let's just say we have this legion over here as well. At this point, you can spend one order and transfer this unit to this legion. If you wanted to trade units between a legion, such as this card for this card, that would only cost one order. However, if you wanted to move, say, 3 cards from one legion to another legion, that would cost one order for each card. All right, and last, we have the movement orders. So a legion's movement is just 1, and they can move in any direction, like so long as their legion has the respective direction arrows indicated in gold over here. So this legion can only move to the upper left or upper right. So if we spend one order, we can move here or here. However, since a legion's movement is only 1, so one order will let you move 1 tile. If you enter a tile that has a movement cost token, you would have to spend an additional order in order to enter it. So think that normally this costs 1 to enter, but because of this green movement cost token, it now costs 2 orders to enter. However, since this is a movement type unit, its respective bonus is that you have a movement equal to its direction arrows. So this actually has a movement of 2 instead of just 1. So to move, if this legion was Legion 1, to move from here to here, it would only cost 1 order because it has a movement of 2 and it costs 2 to enter this tile. All right, so that basically concludes what sort of orders you can play out during your order phase. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be informed when the next video comes up to go into our next phase. S is for skirmish. And as always, thanks for watching.